Hello and welcome back to Unreal. We're very firmly at the end game. So let's load the source and... That's not a very nice sound to make. Okay, so where do I want to go? I know that there are two doors in this place, and one of the doors is where I came from, and the other door is where I want to go. Oh, there's sound. Thank you. There's one door there, and there's... Well, that one is flashing, so... I guess that's where we need to go. You guys can bug off. I don't exactly like fighting enemies that keep respawning, so yeah. Just go here and pretend that they don't exist. I don't think they can respawn and follow us here because they cannot see us. Okay, and here we are. At the emergency escape pods. Don't jump down there, that's death. Yeah. And this panel shows Nepali, I think. Okay, so the only thing left to do now is to enjoy the end game. Very many cinematic moments at the end of this game, apparently. So, without further ado, let's go and see what we can see in the end game. The Scar escape pod has broken free from the planet's gravitational pull. Barely. Yet its fuel has depleted, and you drift aimlessly. From where many have died, you have escaped. You laugh to yourself. So much has happened, but little has changed. Before the crash landing, you were trapped in a cramped cell. Now, once again, you are confined in a prison. But you feel confident that someone will come upon your small vessel. Eventually. Until then, you drift and hope. To be continued. So that is it for the Unreal single-player campaign. The end game is... oh, come on! Really? This is not how it's supposed to go. That's a really strange bug, and I don't know if... well, it's obviously a bug, and I don't know if the 2.7 development team knows about this. Well, either way. Oh, come on. How can I... well, whatever. Yeah. I would like to open the main the Nali Castle flyby, but well, it's supposed to open the Nali Castle flyby by itself, but apparently it's not working how it's supposed to be. So we'll have to deal with this. Anyway, that's all that there is to the Unreal single-player campaign. If we look back, like the text at the end said, it was a rather long journey, but not a whole lot has changed. Prisoner 849 on the Vortex Strikers was en route to the prison moon when the magnetic pull of Vortex Strikers, apparently caused by Teridium crystals, pulled the ship in and it crashed. Prisoner 849 traveled all the way through scar installations, buildings built by the Nali, and temples, to finally get to the Scar mothership. And Prisoner 849 single-handedly managed to destroy the whole Scar military on this planet, apparently. Destroy all the power sources, destroy the Scar Queen, that was essentially what was breeding all the Scar in that place, and stole an escape pod. But the escape pod did not have enough fuel to get out of that place and counter the magnetic pull of the same Teridium crystals, apparently. But it's enough to have it flying around in space, stranded. So it's not the end of this adventure. Like I said, there is an expansion pack. Unreal Return to Nepali. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And it's also not the end of our Let's Play here, because even though the single-player campaign is over, we still have to go over some of the things I want to note about Unreal Enhanced Edition, in particular how things have changed. And I also want to show you the multiplayer. So that will also take some time, because I want to show you the stock maps, multiplayer maps that come with Unreal. What else do I want to say here? Well, if you're curious, what you're seeing here is the old Unreal interface. It came with the original Unreal, and it was the default for a while until one of the patches, I believe. And in Unreal Gold it was already, well, the Unreal menu interface was set to default, and this one was no longer used. And for some reason, sometimes it just appears out of nowhere. I have no idea why. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the music that you're hearing in the background there is what was supposed to be the main Unreal theme. However, it was used as the ending theme because it's just so awesome like that. Oh, and if you were very observant, basically at the end of the cinematic there, you could see our ship emerging from the land there, and it was actually from the middle of the Scar mothership entrance that we have been to earlier, where we originally came inside it. So that's an interesting detail there. And yeah, the whole ending sequence was very nicely thought out. It's also pretty simple, but it's very effective and very spectacular. But yeah, that's pretty much what we have now. The only thing to do now is to go over other things. Yeah, game speed at 90%. Now I have no idea how to escape this old interface, because pressing escape doesn't do anything, pressing tilde doesn't do anything, pressing tab doesn't do anything. Oh man. Yeah, otherwise this video is way too short, so what up? Yeah, I am planning to do with bot matches. I'm planning to play each of the multiplayer maps that comes with stock Unreal. I'm not going to touch Unreal Return to Nepali maps just yet, until we go over the single player of Unreal Return to Nepali. And I'm going to configure every game to have basically one video worth of match time, probably around 20 minutes, I guess, and of course playing with bots. That will also allow me to show off some of the new mutators that I have created, but apparently you couldn't see it because you cannot add mutators to the game while the game is in progress. So yeah, that's that. I still have to do some more work on the footstep mutator, because you generally need to find all the names of textures that you want to put footsteps on, and that obviously takes some time. But I have already covered basically all of... yeah, I have covered all of the stock Unreal maps, multiplayer ones, and half of Unreal Return to Nepali maps, so that's already quite a good number. Hopefully that will also transfer to some of the surfaces in Unreal Return to Nepali having some form of footstep sounds. And yeah, too bad I didn't start my timer at the correct time, but I think I am only like 15 minutes in. So 1 second while I go back to the normal interface, I guess. Oh, there we are. So, what I wanted to show you exactly is how the bot matches will be set up. There are multiple multiplayer game types here. Well, Dark Match has only one map by default, DK Nighthawk, that I already mentioned. King of the Hill is something, Deathmatch is something. Unreal Game Info. Does it allow for everything? I don't think this is an actual game type. I think Unreal 2.7 unlocked all of the game types that are available in the game, and that also made some of the not really existing game types to be shown. Team game is a game with 2 teams, red and blue, for the most frags. Co-op game is also not a single player game. It's for internet matches. Well, until someone manages to get nicely working bot support to co-op games, but until then it's not very useful. Vortex Strikers game, it's a special game type for the first map, Vortex Strikers. Basically, all it does is play the animation of you hitting the ground, and also gives you only something like 5 points of health at the start instead of 100, so not very interesting. Single player, of course. Entry game info is again something you don't need to bother with. Everything marked with UPAC is Unreal Return to Nepali, so we won't be seeing that at least right now. Yeah, King of the Hill is essentially Mutant from Unreal Tournament 2004, in that the person with the most frags becomes the King of the Hill, and he gets a few boosts. Things like the amplifier, I believe, but also other people are motivated to try and defeat the King of the Hill. I don't remember the specifics right now, but we'll figure that out as we go. So yeah, what I'm going to do with the game types is I will choose a different game type for each map. There are several of them. This lists only deathmatch maps. Most of them, well, I don't know actually. Half of them, I believe, is from Unreal, half of them is from Unreal Return to Nepali. Those that are with capital M are Unreal 227 only maps. You can use a map list, but I won't be doing that. I want to do everything manually. I will use all these mutators that I created myself. All mutator replaces the original Unreal weapon sounds with the version 200 ones. I don't exactly like it too much because I never played Unreal 200, so I won't be using that. Yeah, I think I will set the time limit to 20 or to 25. I still have to think about that. Frag limit is going to stay on 0. It will be get the most frags in 25 minutes or 20 minutes. Yeah, weapons will well, actually, yeah, I'll keep weapons stay on. The thing is, with Dispersion Power-Up Drop mutator, is that it makes weapons stay not so important. Normally, without that mutator, if you had weapons stay disabled, then you would end up using your basic dispersion pistol most of the time, which is not something you want to have. But with the Dispersion Power-Up Drop, you get to use your powered up dispersion pistol, which is not that bad. Friendly fire. Usually I like enabling friendly fire because it makes for better realism, but why is this not updating? Welp. So I usually like to keep it on a low level, but still have it on, so that there is at least some type of realism. The game style. As the tooltip there says, you can choose between Hardcore, Turbo, and Classic. By default, I think it's at Hardcore. Yeah, it is. Hardcore is 10% faster with a 50% damage increase. Turbo also adds ultra-fast player movement. Considering that Unreal already has an ungodly fast game speed, No, we're not going to play on hardcore or turbo. Going to play on classic, and we're going to play it at 19% game speed once again, because everything else is just nuts. With bot skill, there are only 4 bot skills here in Unreal, as opposed to Unreal Tournament, where there were a lot more skill levels. I'm going to choose average, I believe. Could try and do something with skilled, but even on average they're pretty good. I think that would be something around skilled if you were to compare that with Unreal Tournament levels. The number of bots... Well, the problem with Unreal here is that maps don't usually tell you how many bots you're supposed to be using. So I'm going to guess I will put it at 6 or something. I don't know. You can choose to auto-adjust the skill, but it's not very useful, to be perfectly honest. Basically because if you get to do something good, it will make the bots go to Masterful, and then of course you start losing because they're ungodly fast and very, very good at aiming. In fact, they start to cheat. And so the game will say, oh no, you're doing badly, so you get to play with novices. And so you only get to fight one match with novice and another match with masterful, which really, what's the point of that? Random order, yeah. Actually, what does configure do? Oh, it allows you to choose your bots. Yeah. You can change all the bot attributes, but I use random order, which makes it have random bots appear. So that's pretty much what we're using, I guess. And yeah, so that's pretty much it, what I wanted to say in this one. Although it's the end of the single-player Unreal campaign, still not nearly the end of my Unreal playthrough. So, well, actually, one thing I wanted to show you is some of the 2.7 only features here. For example, music menu. That's an incredibly good thing to have, because it allows you to play music in Unreal. For example, starting Flight Castle 2. Yeah, we can choose any sort of music that is in the game. And then you can also choose which section to play, choose the music volume, and things like that. Very useful. If you happen to play in a map that does not have any music. And believe it or not, most of the multiplayer maps don't have any music. In fact, none of the standard maps have any music, so this will be incredibly useful. And of course it persists if you close it. What's the book mode? I guess it shows you the log. Admin menu is not something we need to worry about. And you can record a demo and play it back. A demo is actually a very useful thing to have, because it's essentially like a recording, the one I'm doing right now, but instead of some external program recording things, Unreal itself records what things are being done, and then you can just play it back at any time and record as you see fit. But of course in this case I don't really care about that. Still, someone else can, for example, record a demo and then send it to you. It it is a lot more, well, bandwidth friendly than sending huge files video. And whoops! I pressed about Epic Games and that redirected me to their website and closed Unreal. Whoops! But oh, and you can also go to old Unreal. Directed from here, interesting. And here are the credits for Unreal. Programming by Eric Deneve, Steve Polge, I know that guy, Jack Porter, Brandon Reinhardt, Tim Sweeney, hey, he is the one responsible for basically the whole Unreal script in Unreal. Carlo Fogelsang, and in 227, Jochen Gernitz. I guess this is Smurfish? Smurfish. Yeah, that guy. Level design, you already saw many of them mentioned before. Of course, Cliff Doshinsky, Elliot, Misha the Sled Dog Cannon, Shane Carville, Juan Pancho Eccles, Dave Ewing. Did he have a nickname? I don't remember. Cedric Inox Fiorentino and Alan Willard. Art and models by Dave Carter, Shane Cottle, Pancho Eccles, Steve Garofalo, Mike Lidham, Everton Richards, Dan Sarkar, and James Schmaltz, who is still around at Epic Games. At least from what I know, I think. Wait. Oh, is he in Digital Extremes? I don't remember. Well, either way, music and sound for the perfect soundtrack. Alexander, Brandon, and Michiel van den Bos, it's supposed to be. Whoever wrote this is clearly mistaken. And of course, sounds by Sasha Dikissian, Dave Ewing, Lanny Minella, and Chano Nuance. Business by Mark Rain, of course. And Jay Wilbur. Old Unreal to the Sound Patch at Old Unreal.com and community. Thank you. So yes, that's, like I already mentioned, that will be it for now. And see you all next time when I will be presenting some of the features that I have incorporated in Vortex Strikers, but from more of the technical side, without the role-playing aspect. So see you all then. Later.